What up? We're doing the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Pick. Woo! Hi, I'm Taryn.
Hi, I'm Jonathan, and welcome to Whiskey Break.
Today we're going to be reviewing Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof Rye.
We actually have two different single barrels. The one right here is 138.5 proof, and this is 130.5 proof. So this one's definitely on the higher end of the spectrums I've seen. Not quite hazmat, but getting there. And the 130.5 is definitely on the lower end. So we're going to try them both, and maybe at the end we'll try to average them out and see what an average Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye should taste like. All right, so we're starting with the higher proof one, the 138.5. It's definitely hot, but
yeah,
I wouldn't think it's that crazy. It smells like a rye, and it smells barrel proof.
Definitely smells like a rye.
But I might have just guessed it in like the standard 120-ish range.
It is slightly sweeter than I expected, and not quite that peppery notes that I'm used to. Yeah, kind of got that a little bit like a hint of brown sugar.
Yeah, it's definitely like a softer sweetness, not too crazy in your face. The proof and the spice definitely comes through.
Yes, very drying. I feel like I almost need a sip of water right now.
Yeah, very drying, very hot. There's still a lot of flavor going on. It's not just ethanol proof bomb. It's
definitely.
You get a lot more of the rye spice.
Definitely.
I would say the like char and like some of that like brown sugar sweetness that you're talking about.
I think for sure if you're a beginner to whiskey, this might be way too hot for you. I think with me being maybe less experienced than Jonathan, it's a little much for sure. Yeah, I think the drying kind of really got to me. I haven't had a lot of barrel picks proof. Barrel proof that have been as hot as this one. Yeah. So it's a little intense.
Yeah. And I'd say the drying aspect, I mean, there's definitely some like oak and char, but it's not necessarily drying from like a ultra aged perspective. It's really hot. It's 138 proof. I don't think it's to the point where it's like undrinkable or like there's, like I said, it's not just straight ethanol. I think there's still definitely a lot of flavor there. It's a little hard to go back to and to sip.
Also, I want to take this moment to remind you to subscribe to our channel. Hit the little bell icon to get notified every time that we post.
And follow us on Instagram at The Whiskey Break. Want to hop into the other glass?
Yeah, let's do it.
Definitely lower proof, but it is 8 points, 4%. Not too crazy, but definitely lower proof.
Definitely a much lighter smell.
Yeah.
I'm getting sweet notes, but maybe not as much brown sugar as the first one.
A lot less ethanol on the nose.
Yeah, I would say it's more of a lighter sweetness. I'm getting maybe a hint of cinnamon on this one that I didn't get on the other one. Mm-hmm. Maybe because I can actually smell something other than alcohol.
Yeah. I feel like I get a little bit of more traditional rye notes. Like, not necessarily like pininess, but like a little, maybe a tiny bit herbal.
Yeah.
Kind of down that road.
Yeah, definitely herbal. Maybe a little bit of like earth.
Oddly, I don't think it's as sweet as the first one. I don't think you get just as many of those like brown sugar or sweet notes, but you get a lot more, I think, a little bit more of the barrel char.
Yes.
And the rye spice and the ethanol is a lot more manageable, I feel like.
Yeah, it's definitely not as drying either. I definitely didn't feel like I needed a glass of water after that one. It was pretty smooth and way more drinkable than the other one.
Yeah, it's still definitely barrel proof, but yeah, you don't get any of the dryness. I do like the finish. I feel like there's a note on the finish kind of going down that like minty herbalness path. I say again, it is a lot more of your standard rye notes, more aged rye notes. There's no like crazy like pine tree or anything like that or pine sol. It's more of the like herbal, maybe some tea, a little bit of like spices. That's kind of what I'm getting from it.
I think you're on the right path there. I would say maybe a little bit sweeter than what you're describing. I still get a little bit of that, you know, it's almost like a simple syrup, but a little darker.
Like a darker syrup.
Yeah.
and rich. I think I would like a little bit more barrel char notes from it or something like that to
I
kind
agree.
of balance out the rye spice, because otherwise it's just a solid, good rye notes. I think I'm looking for something a little bit different from it. I'm not quite getting it.
Well, let's get into our final thoughts. What do you think of these guys?
Yeah, I think taste-wise, out of 5, I'm kind of in that 3 to 3.5 range. I don't think there was anything terribly wrong with these, but I was hoping for a little bit more. I think I prefer the standard Tennessee whiskey counterpart to these, just in terms of like drinkability and reaching for it. But there aren't a lot of barrel proof ryes on the market that are easy to get. So for that range and for that market, I could see it as it's above average, 3 to 3.5 for me.
Definitely. I think that doesn't surprise me at all. I think I would probably give it a 3.5, 4. I think I like it a little better than you for sure. I'm a huge fan of Jack Daniel's products. I'm the first to recommend some of their bottles, so it doesn't surprise me that I like it a little bit more. It's, you know, really intense, and I'm a big fan of when whiskeys are really intense and have a lot of flavor. And I think these are huge flavor forward bottles, whereas, you know, I've tried other bottles that are a lot less for the same price.
I would say value-wise, I think it's a very good value at $65. It doesn't necessarily drink like super special or super like well-rounded, put together, or anything like that. But for $65, it's probably the best barrel proof rye on the market that you can get. I
think if Jonathan brought this home for, you know, 75 and below, I'd be happy about it. And again, super flavor forward.
A lot of those higher age statement barrel proof ryes are going to go for a premium above $100. I mean, Sagamore bottles are really kind of the closest you'll be able to get, and they all start at $80.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope you enjoy.
See you next time.